Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the West Coast, where today we're doing a bit of multitasking again. Also it's occurred to me that I've kind of made a derp. Talked about that. I'll talk to you guys about that in a second. Today we are weeding the crop fields. And we have the 8000 fast track over in field number 3, seeding some wheat for us. Now I did mention there was a derp happened. Yes, I've done a Dave. I've done a Dave. I'm gonna come clean. I've done something stupid. Because if I open up the map, you can see where I've gone around with the weeder already. If I go over here to the fruit types, you'll notice there's a lot of this kind of khaki green on the map. Fields 10, 15, 16 and 14 all have the same colour of green. Why is that, Dave? Well, Dave, it's because you've planted soybeans in literally all the fields, except 3 because I realised this and started planting wheat and... yeah. Yeah, I screwed up. So, we're going to have a big soybean harvest, and that's going to be lots and lots of money, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't intend to do that. I've also fed the cows a bit more, so they're a bit less concerning food-wise, I think is the best way to put it. After yesterday's issue with the Vaderstad cedar, going a bit weird with courseplay, and I think I know what the issue was. It was when I was detecting with the cedar, I was actually had it skeweth, so it was detecting that the cedar was offset from where I was, which it wasn't, and it kind of threw everything off. Over on Upton, I've solved that by just using the plough course. But it's something I'll need. It's something that I'm kind of glad happened because I'm now aware of that as a potential issue. And by the way, I am fully aware that if I really wanted to, I could just run the seed over one of these fields with like canola or something. I don't want to just, I don't know, waste money on getting the second seeding done on a field, plus that it'd screw up the fertilizing. In fact, I think I've already managed to screw up the fertilizing somehow. It seems as if there's one stage of fertilizer in all the fields for some reason. Possibly because I ploughed them, I guess. But I am being a good girl on this map, and I am doing things properly with 3 stages of fertilization, and instead of just going, oh well, I'm going to spray it constantly, we're out with the weeder today, which is something that many people don't use. Because, let's face it, it is kind of, compared to spraying fertilizer down, a lot, well, the same speed, but a lot slower realistically, because, hey, it's not covering as much ground. Now, is it worth doing this as opposed to spraying fertilizer? I would argue yes. Especially if you're doing 3-stage fertilization. Number 1, it gives you something different to do, which is always nice. Number 2, this is kind of more of an important point. It's free. You pay for it once and the game fertilizes forever for free like this. But only on stage 1, which is why I've been very, very careful to have growth set to slow while I was passing the night by. I think the free nature of it's better, honestly. Obviously, like slurry and manure are even better again because they come from cows and pigs, which make you money, and you get money for your free fertilizer. You know, you get paid to use it effectively. The same with the digestate from the BGA. You know, you get money out of that. That's even better again. That's fertilizer that pays you twice over because let's say, for example, with the cows, you sell the milk and then you get 2 different types of fertilizer. That's great. And you can use the fertilizer to increase the yield of your crops, which gives you even more money again, which means you can get more cows, which means you can get more slurry manure, which means you can spread more slurry manure, get more fertilizer that you've already been paid for, to get more yield, for more cows, for more milk, for more fertilizer. I don't think many people think that way, but I do. I always have. I've got a bit of an odd way of thinking about the game, I think. Should also mention that if I sound a bit different to usual, this week, all of yesterday's videos I recorded on about 2 hours sleep. All this week's videos, barring Monday, all the videos I recorded yesterday, which was Monday, I recorded on about 2 hours sleep. You're not gonna believe this when I say it. Today's videos are recorded on about 5 hours sleep. So today's Tuesday. I got about 5 hours sleep last night. 5, 6, maybe 7. And it's currently just coming up to 10 o'clock. And of course, cynical amongst you will say, oh, 10 PM, Dave's been lazy again. No. The other 10 o'clock. The one that I usually don't ever see unless I've stayed up all night. 10 AM. Because I'm actively trying to... I don't know if it's fix or screw up my sleeping pattern to the point where I kind of have to get up at 5 AM tomorrow. For me. So on Wednesday, I'll have been up since 5 o'clock in the morning. So if you saw me at the ploughing and you were wondering why maybe I looked a bit tired, I don't know how I looked on Wednesday. If you saw me at the ploughing and maybe I looked a bit tired, maybe I was a bit weird looking. Number one, I always look weird. Number two, if I looked tired, it was because I was up since 5 that morning. And I'm not used to that. I'm usually going to bed at 5 in the morning, not getting out of bed. It's a complete flip-flop of what I'm actually used to. In fact, usually I go to bed at 6 in the morning. Moving on. So, today, Tuesday, is a very, very busy day for me. It is preparation day, effectively. Because I want to get so much done today that I don't know what I'm actually going to get done. So if there was a stream on Tuesday, it means I got way ahead of where I wanted and figured I could have 2 hours where I could do a stream. Maybe 3 hours, I don't know how it worked out, if it worked out. But there's a lot of stuff that I want to get done today. This is kind of number one on the list because that puts my mind at ease for the rest of the week. Once I've got this done, I'll be starting to edit and render Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's videos. Today, obviously, it's Friday, so I'll be starting to edit and render those videos. And while that's going on, I'm going to get started on all of the other stuff. So, luckily, with rendering, I can just leave the computer running and go do other things for half an hour to an hour or so. Which is great because a lot of the other things I need to do will take a bit of time and I don't need to be worrying about did I leave my computer running? Am I wasting time here? I don't need to worry about that. I need to get everything sorted and things. For those of you wondering, because it's been kind of a meme over the last week or so, at the time of recording, I have not yet rang the bank, because I did say, oh, I need to ring the bank, oh, I need to ring the bank, oh, I need to ring the bank. That's actually number one on the things what I'm doing when I'm rendering list, because I do need to ring the bank, and I need to ring them today, because I need my phone tomorrow. It's actually an essential item, and at the moment, it's a brick, effectively. I can record videos on it, I can use Wi-Fi, but it is, for all intents and purposes, a brick. Also, in the announcement video for me going to the ploughing, there were a lot of questions of, oh, are you going to be recording? Are you going to be recording? Hopefully, I'll have had enough memory on my phone to do some recording. I do actually plan later on today on wiping quite a lot of random junk out of the memory of my phone so that I can get space to record. I've only got, I think, a 2 GB memory card in it, so it might be a bit borderline with actually getting any videos done, but I will definitely be taking pictures and stuff, or will have taken pictures, I guess is the better way of putting it. So at the very, very, very least, you guys can expect a slideshow, and I will do post-commentary on that. I will commentate on the slideshow and give my experience of the day as much as possible. So you might get some really really bizarrely artsy pictures of like a sunrise, like blur and all that, because I think around sunrise time I will actually be in the car on the way there. Does this thing have... Hang on, does this thing have edge marker? No, it doesn't. I thought that had ridge markers. Why would this have ridge markers? Surely ridge markers would be the last thing you'd want when you're trying to weed fields. And, you know, not destroy your crop. The 8000 series fast track has in fact finished its seeding pass, so just gonna come over here and save a bit of money by stop driver. Luckily, Courseplay turns off tractors when it's done. Or when it's been left to wait for a few seconds. But it's nice the Courseplay does it, it saves fuel. I do, by the way, and I know I've been bad at this, because, hey, I've got all the seeding done. I forgot to turn off, of course, hired workers buys fertilizer and seeds. So I've been using infinite seeding this entire time, which has been wasting quite a lot of money, actually. Because that seeder has almost a full tank of seeds in it still. Yeah, I've been wasting quite a lot of money. Should also say that the 675 Massey Ferguson that I brought over to the pigs, or well, that I said I'd bring over to the pigs, has been brought over to the pigs. Pigs have been sorted out, and I've kind of piled up all the manure, because it does spawn in the same way as the cows, but it all spawns into the manure pit. I just picked it all up and piled it up nicely so that it's in a pile instead of 73 different piles, and it makes a bit more sense to me now. So what the plan moving onwards is I'm going to get Courseplay to do a lot of the weeding, or do it during streams. I guess I could do that too. But Courseplay is going to do a bit of the weeding for me. This is, of course, is going to be stage 2 or 3. I'm not entirely sure by the color scheme. That's stage 2. Fertilizing. So this is stage 2. Stage 3 will be spray. And that'll be a fully fertilized field. Because in real life, you'd probably... I don't know if you would run a weeder over it in real life at this point. You would... I personally wouldn't bother. I'd, you know, run a sprayer over it with Roundup. Or whatever weed killer is appropriate for the crop. We'll say it's a crop that's been bred to be resistant to Roundup. I'd use Roundup. I'd just spray it with Roundup because, well, it's more time efficient, isn't it? It's just weeding with this thing is great because it's free, but or it's effectively free over time. It'll pay for itself over the course of probably 3-4 cycles, because the way spray is used in FS17 is hilariously little sprays gets used. English, Dave. But yeah, very little spray actually gets used in FS17, so this isn't paying for itself as much as it would have in, we'll say, FS13, where spray was just like hilariously, just like you fill up a sprayer, just go, and it's all gone. So there is a difference. A difference has been made. Made. I don't know what the correct word is. One thing I'd like to address, because people haven't asked me yet, but I'm sure they will ask me. I will be getting Spin Tires Mud Runner. That's part of the reason I want to unblock my debit card, is I want to place it pre-order. Also, in stuff that probably won't go on the channel, I would imagine, but might, depending on my moods. I have theoretically pre-ordered Forza Motorsport 7. Although I got an email from Microsoft today saying they couldn't charge my card. Of course they couldn't. It's currently blocked. I'll have to fix that later on. But I will be getting Forza Motorsport 7 because I like cars and racing games, and I've got a wheel, and I like using my wheel with racing games. I know Forza is more of we'll say an Xbox controller friendly game, so it's going to be tuned to be very understeery. Which means I get to screw around with setups and intentionally make what would appear to at first to be oversteery setups, but in fact would be hilarious, just like more neutral handling, if a bit loose. Because I like cars that are just a bit happy at the rear. Because I always find that they're easy to turn. Whereas understeery cars, you're just like almost coming to complete stop and then being like, I can't turn this thing. Why won't you turn? It's because you got ridiculous levels of understeer and front wing. Because I usually drive really, really aero-dependent race cars and I get confused by just the front wing becoming a barge. What am I talking about at all? Can I afford... I activated something... Well, I activated the Verge more that I wanted. Can I afford it? Almost. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just really quickly set up a courseplay course here. This is field 15. 14. Yes, it is field 14. 3 headlands after the fact. Let's start at the first waypoint, please. I'm going to do something a bit odd. I'm going to go do some verge mowing because I'd like to get the field I just cleaned up a bit. Actually, I need to, first of all... No. Get rid of that. Yes, I am using keyboard for this because reasons of Dave is lazy and he can't be bothered using the wheel for a relatively short bit of work. One thing that's interesting about that I find interesting about the new seeded textures is they're very similar to textures that I really, really liked myself in FS13. Especially with... I might whip the XML for this, or the setup for this. Especially with the way BulletBill has the multi-terrain detail setup. Or multi-terrain angle, I should say. I might, for my own map, steal the way he set this up in the maths that he's done. Because it's nice. There was something else I wanted to say. Yes, I remember now. There is a map on the mod hub called Stop and Back. And normally I wouldn't talk about random maps on the mod hub, but this one caught my eye. That's not because of the scripts or anything, I won't be playing it. It caught my eye for a bad reason. That reason is LS Mod Company, the map makers, seemingly don't know what a Creative Commons license is. Because on the download page it says, oh, copying scripts and stuff from this map won't be tolerated as they're covered by a Creative Commons license, which sounds very official and means that you can't use it. Well, think of the name for a second. Creative Commons. Common means, you know, they're generally there. Okay, creative, you can create stuff. You can create stuff generally there. You can create stuff available to everybody. Available to everybody. Creative Commons licenses. If you see videos that have Kevin MacLeod music, you'll know exactly what a Creative Commons license is. Because in every... well, many videos that have Kevin MacLeod music, I'm just using him as an example because he's the first person that comes to mind when I think of Creative Commons licenses. There are two main kinds. There's version 3 and version 4. Version 3 licenses are basically you give whoever made it originally credit, and you can do what you like with the thing. So with Give McCloud's music, you can effectively remix it completely so it sounds entirely different, but you gotta say, oh, I've remixed this, it's from this song. Or you can use it in videos for commercial use, which is why he's so popular on YouTube. There is, of course, also Creative Commons version 4. Now, version 4 is a bit different in that you can't use it for commercial use, but for personal use, it's fine. So, for example's sake, if I wanted to put a version 4 song, a Creative Commons version 4 song in a video on YouTube, I couldn't. Because technically speaking, I'm selling ad space on these videos. So it is for commercial use, because I'm selling something. If it's being used for a time-lapse where you don't monetize, it's not for commercial use. I also want to put a bit of a loan here, dude. There we go. Because I want to get this more and get playing about with it. Because I do like the Sigma Multigrind 200. It's one of my favorite mods from the contest. Maybe not the best textured thing in the world. And, you know, that's relatively easy to fix. But I like the way that it functions, because instead of most mowers in FS17 where it... Oops. I think I broke it. I've almost definitely broke it. Yeah. Instead of most mowers in FS17 where it drops a swath behind it, and I'll show you guys this when I get down to the field. I can theoretically also do some... how do you use this again? Because I have forgotten the controls. Just going to reset course play to that for a second. Okay, that does that. You can set it up with an offset like this. So we'll say if I wanted to... Can I get in here? Ah! Just going to get in here for a second as an example. Also, I regret having a few usage mod. If I wanted to, for example's sake, mow that berm there. He says, wildly moving his mouse upwards. Well, I can, because I can lower the mower down and have it tilted at an angle where it'll mow the berm nice. Well, it didn't mow the berm at all. But I can tilt it until it does. You know, and it'll mow. But you'll notice there's no grass windrow coming out the back because, well, it's mulching. Why would I need a windrow? I've gone and made a mess now, so I gotta spend... Come on! Fold up you get, turn off. Yeah, so what you could use this for, and what I plan on using it for, is mowing the verge of the fields, because in real life you wouldn't have the field verges that high. On a regular basis, anyway. Definitely not when you're, you know, actively working the field. So what you do is you come in with, we'll say, a flail mower like this. Although this isn't actually a flail mower. If I fold it up real quick, you can see that oh, it is a flail mower. Never mind! Disregard everything Dave says, because he's no idea what he's on about. But you come in, you lower it down, and you start mowing. And you're just basically cutting the grass down so that it's a lot easier to see where the actual crop is. And granted, yes, this is a very slow process with this mower because it is quite thin, but you wouldn't necessarily do, you know, a huge, massive field entirely with this thing. It's just for doing stuff like this where you want to have a bit of a headland and you do maybe 2 passes or maybe 3. Or you're mowing some rough ground where you don't want to bring in a big fancy mower and you just want something small, so you'd use this. And it is, for ease of use really, something this small. It can cope with a lot better with rougher ground. Granted, you probably wouldn't put it on the back of an 8000 series fast track. That's a bit overkill, but it's the only tractor I realistically had free other than the Challenger, and I think it would look even dumber on the back of a Challenger MT700E. So, lesser two evils I'm using on the back of an 8000 series fast track. Deal with it. You can see that it actually does take a reasonable width swath. Like, it's pretty much a front mower that it's just been kind of mounted onto the back of this thing. I have missed a bit here, so I'm just gonna reverse. It doesn't matter too much of the flail mower if you're going forwards or backwards. It's going to flail and it's going to mow. And you can see that it just kind of gives you a nice boundary of the field. Especially with the I'm still in two minds as to whether or not I want to retexture the freshly cut grass. I think it's still a bit yellow. Because I'm very picky with textures, if you haven't guessed. I'm very picky indeed. I think the freshly cut grass is still a bit yellow for my liking. I'd like to just increase the green tint of it a bit more. But that's kind of that's more like what I see in real life when there's fields been cut kind of thing than oh, this is horrifically wrong, it's in no way realistic. No, it's just personal preference. I always say, if you're gonna edit something, make it to your standards. And tinker, play with it and make it so that it's better for you. Because yes, I do occasionally do tweaks for Landy and Sim and so, or intending to give it to other people. Usually people that, I say usually, always people that I trust and that I know won't go abusing my trust and putting it up on ModWS or something. And the reason I'm willing to tweak things for other people is, well, I usually know what they like. Because most of the people I talk to have a very similar taste in mods and equipment to me, in that we want realism that is useful on YouTube. I think I've spoken about this before, where realism on YouTube is, especially with farm sim, is a very delicate balance. Because this is realistic. Would I do this every single time I want to see the field? No, because that's stupid. Well, especially, would I do this in real life every single time I see the field? Absolutely. It prevents volunteer grass from growing in the middle of your crop, which you don't want. Would I do it in farm sim every single time I see the field? No, because you guys get incredibly bored by it and not watch the videos. Why am I doing it now? Because I'm using it as a demonstration. In real life, would there be seasons? Yes. In farm sim, for YouTube, is seasons a particularly fantastic mod? Not really, because it slows things down to a crawl. And I've been thinking about this for a little while. I don't think I'm going to return to seasons unless I do something that involves a lot of planning and very short seasons. Because with seasons, the unfortunate side effect of the realism is that everything takes a while. And for a YouTube series, that's not very good because you don't end up getting very much done. Whereas without seasons, like this, I'm on, episode 7 or 8 now? I think episode 8 today. And already we've got the first harvest done and we're reseeding. If this was seasons, I'd have seeded, yes, but I would be probably nowhere near the first harvest. In fact, I'd probably be doing grass work because it would be like late spring and it's time to do some grass work. And that field now is mowed up. I'm going to keep the mower, which is why I took out a loan for it. Well, almost. Going to keep the mower because I don't know, something to do if I'm bored. If I want to do some mowing off camera and not have windrows everywhere, I think I'll crack out the Sigma, or the Sigma multi-grind, which, if you want a mod from the mod contest, or well, if you want 3 mods from the mod contest that aren't seasons, I'll give you the 3 that I would recommend. This, Maddox Jess's T-Dub, and the log winch that won the Modern Classics section. They are 3 fantastic mods. And my 3 personal favorites. With the obvious exception of Seasons. Seasons deserve to win the mod contest, yes. Why am I giving Seasons a hard time? Because I'm looking at things from a YouTube point of view where things have to get done in a certain way, and that certain way is as quickly as is reasonably possible. Seasons slows it down, makes speed slightly unreasonable at times. How is our other fast track doing? It's not doing... Oh, it is doing very well, in fact. Well, is it? Oh, it is. It definitely is. It's missing bits, though. Or it missed a bit, I should say. Yeah, I'd say that's doing very well indeed. But that is all the time we have for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed seeing some weeding, because it's rare that people do it on YouTube, from what I understand. Mainly because it's easier to just use a sprayer, honestly. That's coming from somebody who's just done a weeding video. But that is going to do it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll leave you guys by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on the West Coast. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.